The Giants rolling on a two-game winning streak behind the hot arm of quarterback Phil Simms, who had a great day against New Orleans last week. 28 out of 41. Touchdown pass to his tight end, Gary Shirk, who caught 11 last week to tie an all-time club record. But the Giants have been winning by defense, on defense. Here is New Orleans quarterback Bobby Scott being sacked by number 53, Harry Carson, one of the four outstanding linebackers. In the meantime, in Dallas, Tony Dorsett off to his best start ever. Here he is last Monday night against New England, behind Herbert Scott, Pat Donovan, and eventually picking up the block by Drew Pearson downfield. If the Giants are to stop Dallas today, the name of the game will be to stop number 33, Tony Dorsett.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys.
Sellout crowd as usual in Texas, and it's a hot and sultry afternoon. Temperature 93 degrees and hotter than that down on the artificial turf. And good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall. This is Super Bowl winner Hank Stram, of course. And Hank, what do you think, really, the Giants have to do to stay in this football game against Dallas?
I really think the New York Giant offensive line, they have to do a good job against the front four of the Dallas Cowboys, which is really one of the best in professional football. They have to block Harvey Martin, Dutton, White, and Too Tall Jones. And if they can do that, they've got a good chance to move the football and do a good job.
As we mentioned just a minute ago, Tony Dorsett is probably off to the best start he's ever had, but there are some other elements that have contributed to his success as well.
Yes, I think the fact that they have Ron Springs, number 20, the fullback in their backfield, adds another dimension to the offensive scheme of the Dallas Cowboys. He's very fast, an excellent receiver, and does a good job of complementing the skill and ability of Tony Dorsett.
Dallas has won the toss, and they will accept the kickoff from Joe Danilo. Down deep for Dallas will be James Jones. Danilo is number 18. And an outstanding week last week. Again, he gets things off to a good start as he roots it down to James Jones. The dangerous one who was hurt earlier barrels out to about the 25. Where it'll be first and 10 Dallas. Hit down by Byron Hunt, number 57 for the Giants. Let's run down the lineups. The Dallas Cowboys first, the offensive backs and receivers. Danny White, of course, the quarterback. Tony Dorsett, Springs, Butch Johnson, and Drew Pearson will start at wide receiver. Cowboys loaded in that position. The offensive line, and it's a dandy. Donovan, Scott, Rafferty at center. Kurt Peterson, Jim Cooper, and the tight end is Billy Joe Dupree.
And the great thing about the offensive line, they've got a lot of versatility. Rafferty also plays guard along with being an offensive center.
The Cowboys, as they have been doing, will throw on first down. Complete from White to Dupree, knocked down by Bill Courier. Here's the Giant defense. It's a 3-4. Tabor starting in place of Martin. Bill Neal, the nose guard, and Curtis McGriff, the defensive end on the right side. The linebackers and Hank, they're as good as you'll find.
I think everybody in the National Football League feels that these four linebackers are as good as anybody in the league.
Number 56, of course, is their first-round draft choice. And there is the secondary. Haynes and Jackson, the corners, Courier and Beasley Reese, an ex-Cowboy, deep. It'll be second down, Dallas. 84 for a first as Dorsett comes in motion, leaving Springs the only setback. Springs in the grasp of Lawrence Taylor. And is he something to see?
You know, last week they sent it back in motion like they did in the last play and tried to run outside. This time they try to run inside of Taylor. Taylor came across the line of scrimmage in good shape, number 56, and stuffed the play.
It will be 3rd and 8 as George Martin has replaced McGriff. As I mentioned a minute ago, a sellout crowd trying to stay cool, and that's as good a way as you can think of. That's down by the benches on both sides, those huge fans trying to keep the participants cool.
And thank goodness we got one up here, too, that's helping us stay cool.
That's true. Rafferty snapped his high to White out of the shotgun. He's going deep for Dorsett. He has him. In Giant territory is Tony Dorsett. Harry Carson back there on the coverage, and that's exactly what you want.
Now, Here we look at it just like the quarterback looks at it. Danny White, the pass is a little bit high. The protection is excellent. He's got all the time in the world to throw downfield to Tony Dorsett. He's got the linebacker Carson licked, and he steps out of bounds, but a beautiful play. Danny White to Tony Dorsett, number 33.
The perfect throw. On this hot Texas afternoon, it'll be first down 10, Dallas at the Giant 34.
And the key to the whole play, the success of the play was based on the fact that he had a lot of time to throw the ball.
Rafferty, don't forget the center. Billy Joe Dupree, number 89, sets up as the tight end on the left side. Dorsett deep in the eye behind Spring. Dorsett, after one long run, starts again. Dorsett looking for a place to cut and does, and bounces inside the 30 to the 27. Harry Carson on the tackle.
Here's a pitch to the outside again, and watch the control, watch the vision, watch the balance. He makes an inside move, then he goes outside. Taylor, number 56, overruns the play. Brian Kelly, 55, overruns the play. And he's finally tackled downfield by 53 Carson. But the defense overran the play, and that's why he was able to cut back and make yardage on the play.
A pickup of 6, make it 2nd and 4 in the opening minutes of the first half. Two tight ends. Osby on the left, Dupree on the right. White looks outside. Drew Pearson will have a Dallas first down. Steps out of bounds, hit out by Mark Haynes, the cornerback, who is developing rapidly.
Danny White, you know, does so many things so well, including being a kicker. But he's got a great stroke, a good delivery, throws with good balance, and put that one right on the money on the outside in front of the defensive back, Mark Haynes, number 36.
I am sure that Danny White, as the rest of the Cowboys will very well remember last year's game at Giant Stadium, which the Giants won 38-35, and that really is what knocked them out of the NFC's Eastern Division Championship. Dupree was in motion. That's Dorsett slipping down to about the 19. Stopped by Bill Neal, who submarined under.
Brian Kelly, number 55, was also involved in the play and did a good job of pursuing from the inside out.
There's one of your old friends and old rivals, Tom Landry.
He had a nice visit with Tom the other day. He even smiled a couple of times for us, didn't he?
He can do that.
Yeah, he's a super guy.
When you're 3-0, it's easier.
Yeah, you laugh very easy, is right.
It'll be 2nd and 8. Ball at the 20-yard line. No score as yet, but Dallas on the move. Ron Springs, number 20. That's Dupree in motion to the right. Dorsett, who slips one tackle, and look out now. Dorsett inside the 15 to the 14. Beasley Reese finally stopped him.
The great backs, Pat, have the capacity to stretch a no-gainer into a nice gain. McGriff that time comes across. Taylor misses the tackle. He makes McGriff miss in the open field. Number 64, the center, Rafferty, makes a fine block, but a fantastic run by Tony Dorsett. It's really hard to defense speed and quickness, isn't it, Pat?
Curtis McGriff will attest to that, I'm sure. After you talked about that move that he put on him, he got nothing but air. It's 3rd and 1. Here comes Jay Salvi in motion. Here's Dorsett again with a blocker. Herbert Scott out in front. It'll be a Dallas first down at about the 15-14 make it.
Now we're playing defense, and there you see 53 Carson. You see Kelly, 55, coming over to make the play to help on the pursuit angle. And the defense finally makes the play. A good catch-up on the part of the defense on a play designed to go outside against the 3-4. And that's tough to do against a 3-4 defense back.
Particularly with those good linebackers that the Giants have. Dorsett close enough to the first down for the measurement and did not quite get it. You saw in action one of the best guards in professional football on that last play as well. Number 68, Herbert Scott for Dallas. Detroit. 16-0 over Oakland. Big upset there. And speaking of upsets, Atlanta is no longer unbeaten as Cleveland beats them 28-17. 4th down inches for Dallas.
I wonder when the last time was that the Oakland Raiders didn't get a point in a game. I bet a long, long time ago.
We'll have some people look very quickly. Dorsett and Springs set up behind Danny White. They need about 3 or 4 inches. Salvi comes in motion. Danny White will do it himself, and he got it down to about the 10 and a half. Brad Van Pelt, the tackler. Dorsett, Hank, by the way, is playing with a tender ankle and a mini flak jacket. Got some bruised ribs last week.
Yeah, he sure doesn't look like he's got any trouble the way he's run so far in this contest. He might get it hurt as the game progresses, but so far, he's been most impressive.
Tom Landry was saying that he felt the ankle would bother him more than the ribs. You can see just over his belt that protective apparatus. Springs, the flanker on the right. Dorsett behind White, and now Springs moves back there with him. He'll throw it. Mark Haynes on Drew Pearson.
Danny White guessed wrong that time. He thought they were going to be in single coverage. They were in bump and run, but they camouflaged it very, very well. It wound up being double coverage. He tried to get the ball in the seam between the safety man and the corner. No chance whatsoever. The ball falls incomplete.
Those of you who watched that Cleveland victory over Atlanta, welcome to Texas Stadium, where there is no score between the Cowboys and the Giants. Pat Summerall here with Hank Stram. 9:50 left in the first quarter. Only the Cowboys have had the football so far. Dorsett looking, and this time no place to juke. That's the play that went for 75 yards last Monday against New England.
Yes, and that time Martin, number 75, George Martin, the defensive left end, came in from his position and made the tackle. A good play by George Martin.
We had information last week against New Orleans that George Martin had a broken elbow. And those of you that haven't seen the retraction probably wonder how he's playing. The elbow was not broken. It is taped so he can't extend it completely. You can see the taping on the left elbow, but it's not broken. 3rd and 12 now. The ball at the 13 as Salvi sets up on the right side. White back. Blitz for the Giants. Penalty marker down, and so is Danny White. Bill Neal, the rookie from Pittsburgh, the first man to arrive.
Harry Carson, number 53, is blitzing on the play. Here you see him coming into the picture, gets a good feed on the quarterback. White steps up into the pocket, but Neal is also involved in the play along with Martin, number 75.
Formation, offense, no end on the line of scrimmage. Penalties decline, 4th down.
That explanation by the referee Bob McElwee. Danny White over talking to Tom Landry, along with assistant head coach Jim Myers, and Raphael Septien will kick with Charlie Waters holding. Septien already has as many field goals in 3 games as he did all of last year. 11.
He's got a good strong leg.
That's good. Raphael Septien from 35 yards out puts Dallas ahead 3-0. Cowboys have dominated so far, and they lead 3-0. Raphael Septien will kick off for Dallas. Leon Bright will be back deep, number 45 for the Giants. With Hank Stram, I'm Pat Summerall at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Giants 3-0. Septien approaches. Good high kick, puts the sun bright right in his eyes. He lets it bounce, brings it out, gets away from one tackler, gets outside to about the 14. Tony Dickerson was the first man down, almost had him at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Leon Bright, number 45. Watch Dickerson, number 51. He's gangbusters on covering kicks, and there's a good view of him. He's under control, changes directions, gets by Taylor, the blocker, number 56. Maintains his course and his beat on the ball carrier, Leon Bright. And Bright lost this ball in the sun. He's down there, slows him up. He does not make the tackle, but he slows him up enough, knocks him off balance, where Bright finally falls to the turf at about the 14-yard line.
Where it'll be 1st and 10 Giants. Billy Taylor and Leon Perry. As Gary Shirk finds the middle of that Dallas defense on 1st down, Charlie Waters, the strong safety, takes down the tight end Gary Shirk. Let's look at the Giant offense now. Phil Simms, the quarterback, Taylor and Perry, the runners, wide receivers, Johnny Perkins and Mike Freedy. Up front, it's Benson. Tough job for him today. Simmons, Hughes, Turner, King, and Gary Shirk.
You know, this New York Giant team, they have to throw the ball well on 1st and 10, especially against the flex. And they got to run it to Bubbles whenever they can.
On a quick count, they go this time with Leon Perry swinging to the outside for good yardage again. D.D. Lewis, the tackler.
And when we talk about a bubble, we talk about the area where the defensive linemen are off the line of scrimmage a little bit instead of being right on the line of scrimmage. And anytime they are, we refer to that as a bubble.
Here is that Dallas defense. They play a 4-man front. None better. Jones, Dutton, White, Martin, the linebackers, Brown, Brunig, Lewis in the secondary. That's the suspect spot. Wilson, Thurman, the corners, Waters and Downs deep, the rookie from Rice. Bill Sims, good time, intended and complete to Gary Shirk down the sideline. He's being covered by Guy Brown. They finally knock him out of bounds inside the Dallas 20 at about the 17. Michael Downs took him down. And Gary Shirk continues on a red-hot streak.
Yeah. Gary Shirk ran what we call a drag-out pattern, which means he makes an outside relief right for the sideline. Guy Brown is covering man for man. He's a step behind. And Shirk makes the catch, goes right down the sideline with the ball away from pressure. Brown is in hot pursuit, does not have enough speed to catch him. He's finally knocked out of bounds from this far side. What a beautiful play by the New York Giants.
Giants on the move. And quickly, see if they throw it again on 1st down. They have it at the 17-yard line. Sims again will put it up. And does. Oh, just over the outstretched hands of Johnny Perkins. He might have thrown it just a bit too hard, but it was there.
Yeah, he had Steve Wilson, the left cornerback, licked down the play. Had he thrown it just a little bit lower, it'd have been 6 points.
Johnny Perkins had a hot week last week as he caught 8 passes. Buffalo and Cincinnati in overtime, 24 apiece. The New York Jets coming back with a vengeance after shaky reports about Walt Michaels' future. 33-17 4th quarter. 21-21 New England, Pittsburgh 4th quarter. Here comes Perkins in motion. Freedy on the weak side. And Sims on the inside draw play. Hands back to Billy Taylor, and he is swarmed on. Those of you watching Philadelphia continue on the rampage against Washington. Welcome to Texas Stadium in Dallas. Irving, more correctly, where the Dallas Cowboys lead the Giants 3-0, but the Giants deep in Dallas territory make it 3rd and 12 at the Cowboy 19. Passing time again. That's a final. And welcome again.
5 defensive backs in the game at this stage.
Sims down, so is the ball. It is not a fumble. Tony Dickerson firing on the blitz and taking Sims away.
Dickerson coming from the backside, number 51. Here he comes. Phil Sims has no chance whatsoever, and that's really the advantage, Pat, of being in a shotgun formation on an obvious passing situation, because you eliminate that blind shot from the backside by a linebacker or a defensive end.
Number 18 is Joe Danello, and last week he popped a 55-yard field goal, which is a Giant team record. Broke the 0 set and held by Pete Gogolak. There's Joe Danello. And he's off to a good start. Scott Brunner, the backup quarterback, will be his holder. And this from about 36.5 yards out. Dallas leading 3-0. Is no good, and Dallas will take over at their own 19-yard line, or 20. They'll bring it back to that point now, since it was inside the 20, and the Cowboys survive with that shutout lead at the moment. 6.5 minutes left to play in the 1st quarter at Texas Stadium, as you look at the Giants head coach Ray Perkins in his 3rd year now with the best team by far he's had. Dorsett to about the 24.
That time they had the tight end in the backfield, and I think the New York Giants were anticipating a shift of some kind, but they went on a quick count, ran right up the middle, and picked up a few yards into play, specifically 4 yards.
So that'll make it 2nd and 6 with 6 minutes 10 seconds left in the first quarter. New England and Pittsburgh in overtime as well, tied at 21 all. 3-man front, which the Giants will be in most of the day. The ball's at the 24. 2nd down for the Cowboys. They lead 3-0 as Drew Pearson comes in motion quickly to Dorsett. Hit by Bill Neal as he gets a couple and not much more than that. It'll be 3rd down and about 3. Minnesota, after a very sluggish and slow start, leading Green Bay 30-13. Tommy Kramer back in flinging form. D.D. Lewis over on the sideline, the veteran who has said this will be his last year. 3rd and 3 for Dallas as they shift into the shotgun formation. 13 teams in the NFL now using that setup on offense. Good snap this time from Rafferty. The throw is outside for the Dorsett. And he is knocked out of bounds near a 1st down. Here's Ed Too Tall Jones. Too tall to play football? Not necessarily.
And how about the pugilistic career he had for just a short period of time?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily is right.
It'll be 4th down, less than a yard for Dallas. Danny White, don't forget, is the punter. And he is one of the very best, as well as being an outstanding quarterback.
You know, I asked him one time about how he enjoyed kicking, and he said he really liked the responsibility because when things didn't go very well in the previous series, he could take it out on the kick and take it out on the ball, which is kind of an interesting comment by this young quarterback, Danny White.
He is a fine athlete. There's always a possibility something else could happen. And this is a fine kick as it hangs up there in the direction of Leon Bright. Breaks 1 tackle, penalty marker down. It's going to be against the Cowboys as somebody was clipped. I think it was Benny Barnes by Danny Spradlin.
Yeah, the clip is very obvious right about the time he made the catch, and there'll be a penalty assessed on the play.
Penalty, the clip was on Tony Dickerson, as you'd expect, one of the first men down there. He's over in conversation with the referee, Bob McElwee, at the moment. While I have a chance, the rest of the officials, Al Conway's the umpire, the head linesman Norm Kragseth, the line judge John Everett, the back judge Ray Douglas, side judge Bob Rice, field judge Ed Merrifield. And there's the referee, Bob McElwee.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 37 on the return team. 1st down.
37 is Larry Flowers. Some doubt about whether or not he'd be able to play.
You get a good view of it. There's Flowers, number 37, making the clip. Very obvious. 37 making the clip.
And they'll move it back. Dallas still leads 3-0. Thank you, Brent. 3-0 Dallas here at Texas Stadium. Field goal by Rafael Septien as Phil Simms is in trouble, being chased by Harvey Martin and others. Smack down in the end zone. The pass intended for Mike Freedy. It looked like they might have been trying to set up a screen on the right side. It never was there, and Simms escaped luckily with his life.
Actually, what he tried to do, it looked like he tried to hit the receiver on the outside. He tried to hit Perkins on a square out and up. He didn't have enough time to get the ball on top. Finally, he had to scramble away from the pocket. Martin really put a lot of pressure on him. And he threw the ball incomplete for that reason.
Drew Pearson looking on as the offense takes the break and the defense plays for Dallas. That's Billy Taylor, formerly of Texas Tech, slamming out to about the 15 before Guy Brown, formerly of Houston, makes the tackle.
One thing that's very important when you run against Dallas, you can't be too fancy. You have to run right at that defense. They did a good job of running right at it that last time and picked up 5 yards in the play. But you have to run straight at him. You can't run east and west.
It'll be 3rd and 5. As Dallas puts in what they consider their strongest pass defense. Somebody usually blitzes from this formation. Waters right up on the line. There's a four-man rush. And a successful pass completion to Johnny Perkins as Sims lays it right out there at the 47-yard line. And a first down, Giants.
And they really do a good job on Randy White. Number 54, watch the center and the guard, put him in the vise. They put a little double dip on him. He throws the ball on top to Perkins, who is wide open. Here's another shot of Randy White, number 54. Watch him. The center, Hughes, and the left guard, Simmons, do a good job of blocking him, which provides the quarterback with the opportunity to get the ball downfield to Perkins.
First down, Giants at their own 47. On the move again and out of the hole as the pitch is back to Billy Taylor. And nothing doing as Randy White finally knocks him down as Thurman came up to force things.
Pitch out was to Leon Perry.
I think he was a little upset that he was blocked like he was on the last play. This time he goes around the block. Yeah, good, takes a good angle. But here's a great illustration of what happens when you try to go sideways against Dallas. They respond and react so well that it's very difficult to do that and just get outside with without some kind of a fake inside.
That's the final score. The Jets 33, Houston 17, second and 11. Walt Michaels' first win of this year. Sims again has the good protection.
Oh, what a catch.
The pass is complete again to Johnny Perkins. Inside the Cowboy 40. Took the ball away from Waters.
He goes back in the pocket, favors the right side a little bit that time. Too Tall Jones is blocked well. Perkins makes a beautiful catch in traffic on Charlie Waters and is finally tackled.
In the meantime, number 54, Randy White again. Simmons the blocker, and here comes White on the roll. Triple team this time, and they took care of it. Perkins again in motion on first down. Sims will put it up again. Going deep, he has Perkins. Feet tangled up and pass interference on Steve Wilson. No doubt about it.
Yeah, Wilson tripped him. No question about that. Pass interference against the young cornerback Steve Wilson, number 45. A play-action fake. It wasn't a very good fake. A good mesh between the back and the quarterback. A lot of time to throw the ball. Watch the trip.
Pass interference. Defense. Replay the down.
They had a double penalty that time, holding at the line of scrimmage and pass interference downfield. The play evidently is nullified, and they start again.
They'll replay it. That's Danny White, of course, the Dallas quarterback. Penalty was against number 68, J.T. Turner.
Number 68, offense. Pass interference, defense. Offsetting fouls, replay the down. First down.
J.T. Turner, by the way, is the man who is responsible primarily for blocking number 54 on the Dallas defense, Randy White. In that case, I guess you do whatever it takes. Phil Sims. Inside handoff, Taylor. Jones misses. Taylor cuts back. Penalty marker down.
That's an inside handoff to Taylor, trying to run. Too Tall Jones gets a piece but misses. But here's another great illustration of how tough it is to go outside against the Dallas Cowboys. You have to go at them if you're going to enjoy any real measure of winning success.
In the meantime, Hank, another penalty marker down, and they'll move the Giants back a little bit more. This is going to be a violation, I think, against the tight end Gary Shirk.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 87, offense. First down.
Still first down. Now it's 20 to go, and the ball back at the 49-yard line, just across midfield. Tampa Bay leading St. Louis 6-0 in the first quarter. It's been a struggle for the Buccaneers and for the Cardinals.
You got to be satisfied just to get a little bit back on this play, not to try to get it all back at once.
So right. Coach Stram down to the 45 is Billy Taylor, stopped by Randy White.
People kind of wonder about that kind of a call, but really they're expecting pass, and you have to do the unexpected, especially against Dallas. That was a good call that time, a run. They gained 4 yards, but at least they slowed down the defense and picked up a little yardage on the play.
Bill Ard has replaced J.T. Turner as the left offensive guard for the Giants, and now he'll be looking at Randy White. It'll be 2nd and 16, a minute 54 left in the first quarter, with Dallas leading 3-0 over the Giants. Sims. Protection holds up. A diving pass interception almost by Michael Downs. I think it hit the ground. I don't know about it, but I think it did.
Michael Downs, number 26, comes up with the interception, but the ball was thrown behind. The ball was thrown behind, you see. That's what happened. And for that reason, he was able to make the interception. Talk about Michael Downs on Gary Shirk, number 26.
The rookie from Rice, who nobody gave a chance to make the team, but he did.
Overtime, Cincinnati and Buffalo, and it is Jim Breach of the Bengals attempting a 28-yard field goal on its way, and it's good. And the Bengals upset the Bills 27-24. The Bengals now 3-1. The Bills are a 500 team. Back to Pat Summerall.
Dallas 3, the Giants nothing. Closing minutes of period number 1 here at Texas Stadium on a very hot and humid afternoon. 83 degrees when the game started. And hotter on the field as White will throw again. Lots of time and lots of open receivers. Butch Johnson complete. Brad Van Pelt on the tackle near midfield. Mark Haynes helped him out.
Pat, that's a good call on 1st and 10. The play action pass, as much as Dallas likes to run the football, that time they faked a Dorsett. They ran a crossing pattern with their tight end coming across from right to left, and Butch Johnson, number 86, coming from left to righty, wide open in the middle area.
Cincinnati 27, Buffalo 24. That's the final score. Field goal by Jim Breach. Down, White gives again to Dorsett. Behind blocking, he swings wide. Tough to get wide against those linebackers. Dorsett down and out of bounds. Terry Jackson took him there.
And Taylor, the linebacker on that side, got a piece of him, couldn't knock him down, but slowed him down enough whereby on his course on the outside, they were able to come from the inside, the pursuit, talking about the pursuit, and they made the tackle in good shape on the left sideline.
Hank, that 3-4 defense that's such a vogue now in pro football. I've heard it said that the most important thing you have to have is a nose tackle. I've heard it said the most important things are the linebackers. What do you think?
Well, I think no question about the fact that you have to start with the defensive line first, Pat, and you have to have a good guy in the nose of the center, and a guy who is good enough where a guard and a center have to block him. If you can block in one-on-one, then you're in trouble with the 3-4.
As Ron Springs, the ball carrier, Curtis McGriff made the tackle. The Giants are saying it belongs to them. The referees don't agree. Springs, who caught 11 passes last week, tied the record for the most ever by a Dallas running back. Team record is 13, held and set by Lance Rinsel. John Makovic with the signals into Danny White.
Yes, and talking to Tom Landry about that the other day, he indicated they like to do it because they think they save about 5 seconds by not sending in plays with the guards like they have in the past. He likes it very much, and he thinks it's been a big help to their offensive scheme of things so far this season.
3rd and 7, Dallas. Danny White back in the shotgun. The Giants on a blitz. White going deep, looking for Springs. He is tripped up after the ball went over his head by Bill Courier, and White will have to punt.
When you do get a blitz, you like to throw the ball deep downfield as much as you can because you feel you have one-for-one coverage. The defense of the New York Giants responded very well to the thrown ball. Beasley Reese, specifically number 48, the free safety, came over there to help out on the play.
So on 4th down, White is deep and Bright is deep and looking into a very bright sun as well. White hangs it high. This ought to be a good kick. Out of bounds at about the 6. Make it the 5, and in fact inside the 5 just barely. None better. There are people who can kick it farther, but no more accurately.
You know, the other great thing about him is the reason he's such a great kicker is the fact that you watch him kick, he really has a good drop consistently. He drops the ball well on his foot all the time.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. Pat Summerall with Hank Stram. The Giants have the ball at their own 4.5-yard line with 3 seconds to go in the first quarter. At least when this is over, they'll be coming out of the shade.
See if they try to pump it up here in this situation.
Leon Perry hit after about a yard. Hank just looking over at the other side of the field. We've talked about how hot it is. Look at the whole Dallas team standing in the shade and out of the sun, regardless of where their bench is.
Yeah, they know exactly where that shade's going to be.
They've got it scouted. 3-0 they lead. Look at the far sideline. You see what Hank and I were talking about a minute ago, that the bulk of the Dallas team is down in the shade. One player is down on the end of the bench that has the sunshine, Billy Joe Dupree.
Either that or else the field is tilted and they're sliding that way.
Well, they're leading 3-0. Second down and 8.
I'd throw the ball here, Pat. I think they have to get out of the soup throwing the football.
Right again, Shirk over the middle. Hit by Michael Downs, but Shirk has caught 3 passes already after 11 last week.
And this is a good job on Phil Simms' part. The tight end is hot, meaning that the linebacker blitzes. He's got to be alert, look to the inside. The ball was thrown a little bit behind him, but he caught it like he had a baseball glove on and really sucked it up there that time and made a big catch.
Gary Shirk is just 6'1", short for a tight end, weighs only 220, light for a tight end, but he keeps getting it done. Here is the pitch back to Perry, being chased by Kyle Brown and Harvey Martin, and Harvey takes him down with help from Randy White.
They've run this play about 3 times now, Pat. They haven't succeeded in making any yardage. Watch the defense. Look at the leverage on Harvey Martin, number 79. It's hard to run outside of him, especially to the split inside. D.D. Lewis also comes up and makes the tackle, number 50.
That's the front 4 or 5 in this case, if you include the middle linebacker, Bob Brudig, the defensive captain. And they do excel. Second down and 9 as Simms drops. A lot of time. Pass complete as Perry stays on his feet. 2 of the linebackers of Dallas hit him and bounce off. D.D. Lewis was one of those, and finally Brudig takes him down.
Now you can be the quarterback and you can read the coverage. Here's Phil Simms getting his drop. You see the linebacker Bruning going to the quarterback's right side. He throws away from the middle linebacker. Perry is open. He makes the catch, fights desperately for as much yardage as he possibly can, does a good job on the play.
Second quarter score, Tampa Bay 6, St. Louis 3. It appears that Leon Perry is okay, just had the wind knocked out of him, but he has been replaced by Bo Matthews. Giants go into the shotgun. Cowboys do not blitz. Simms behind good protection, fires outside, complete. Downs on the coverage. That's Ernest Gray.
Ernie Gray, number 83, is close to the sideline, gives himself enough room to make the outside move. There's a lot of time for Simms to throw the ball, and he's an excellent quarterback. He delivers the ball beautifully on the outside. The tackle is made by Michael Downs, number 26, but not until after he makes the first down.
Ever improving Kansas City over Seattle 14-0 in second quarter. Giant first down at their own 28. Dallas leading 3-0. That's Billy Taylor banging off the right side for 2-3. Stopped by the entire front 4. Denver and San Diego. How about that one?
Boy, that's really a surprise, isn't it?
Let's see what's happening in New Orleans and San Francisco. Another surprise.
It's really easy to pick these games every week, isn't it, Pat?
Glad we're working at this job instead of doing that.
Yeah.
Second down at 7, 12:28 left in the first half. Cowboys over the Giants 3-0. Here's the handoff to Taylor. Taylor struggles to the 35. Randy White ties him up there.
They really got a pretty good surge on the left side that time. They got off the ball in good shape, but by the time the back got there, it was a little bit too late. They responded well and made the tackle. Randy White, number 54, the defensive right tackle of the Dallas Cowboys, is respected as one of the great tackles in the National Football League, and it's justified. He's big and he's strong and he reacts very well. He's quick and he's fast, and that's a great combination. Sometimes linemen are quick, but they're not fast. Sometimes they're fast, but not quick. He has a combination of being both.
So it's 3rd down, Giants. As Sims operates again from the shotgun and fires down the middle complete. It'll be another 1st down. That's Ernest Gray. The penalty marker is down, and back around the Giant quarterback. It could be holding.
Watch the way Ernie Gray in traffic. He makes the catch. Looks like holding on the part of the right guard possibly, but watch, he makes the catch and brings the ball in tight, maintains possession. Really good concentration on Ernie Gray.
Holding, number 61, offense, 3rd down.
61 is the offensive center, Ernie Hughes. But he was helping out on that man we were talking about just a minute ago, Randy White. So it'll be 3rd down, 13. Excuse me, Hank.
Yeah, he really had the squeeze on him. I saw the hand. I didn't know who it belonged to, but somebody was holding on the play, and it had to be used.
Passing down again. And everybody on the defense will start to tee off. Harvey Martin chasing Phil Sims, and Sims fires well over the head of Johnny Perkins. Phil Sims feeling the pressure perhaps a little bit. That's a dangerous possible position to be in against the Dallas Cowboys. Fine young quarterback.
Yes, he is. He surely is, and he shows a lot of poise, and he's got a great delivery, good gun, strong, runs well enough. That time he got a lot of pressure from Harvey Martin, number 79.
The NFC's leading punter with an average of 45.1, Dave Jennings, number 13, and he likes a situation like this.
Yes, and you know, he's an unusual temperament for a kicker. I talked to him the other day and asked about whether he was going to get a bad snap, whether he liked it to be low or high. He says, really, it doesn't make any difference. I just have to kick the ball regardless where it comes, which is a great attitude for a kicker.
Line drive to Jones. He gets a good hop. He's got a little room for a moment. Gets out to about the 29-yard line where Dallas will take over. Larry Flowers, number 37, led the Giant coverage. As Jennings hit a low line drive, and his teammates still trail Dallas 3-0 after a field goal by Rafael Septien. Tom Landry, intelligent, tough, and a real gentleman. The 3rd winningest coach in the history of the NFL. One ahead of Don Shula. Pitch back to Dorsett, who gets about 4 off to the left side before he's stopped by Harry Carson. Ray Perkins, the head coach of the Giants, who played for the Baltimore Colts against Dallas in Super Bowl V.
And we had a nice visit with Ray yesterday afternoon. He's very cooperative and told us a little bit about the approach for the game. He's got a great-looking passing concept, and I've been very impressed seeing the Giants play the last 2 weeks. They really know what they're doing from an offensive viewpoint.
Drew Pearson, the intended receiver, supposed to be a slip screen very quickly. That didn't materialize.
Cowboys!
You know, the Cowboys have had the ball on 8 times on 1st and 10, made 4 yards or more on 4 of the occasions. The New York Giants have had it 7 times and have made more than 4 yards on only 3 occasions.
Miami 31, Baltimore 28, 4th quarter. The Dolphins under Don Shula looking for win number 4 as we look for 3rd and 6 situation here. 10:26 left to play, 2nd quarter. Dallas.
Excuse me, Pat. They try to hit somebody in the middle or one of the backs.
White has to come out and does, and down he goes. George Martin, who is the Giants' best pass rusher, takes him down from behind.
Here we see George Martin, number 75, on the offensive tackle, Jim Cooper. Cooper is holding him, and then he spins it back in behind the quarterback. A beautiful effort on the part of Martin, and I'm sure that the right tackle, Cooper, thought he had him beyond the quarterback and didn't have to worry about him making a tackle.
Deep is Leon Bright, and the punter, Danny White. Bright will not have to contend with that sunshine this time as Rafferty gets the snap back to White, and this one he doesn't hit that well. I think that's Beasley Reese who put up the signal for the fair catch. Used to play for Dallas, and the Giants will take over. Curtis McGriff getting a little breather on this hot afternoon. Dallas still leads his team 3-0. Bright trying to run outside for Dallas. D.D. Lewis stopped him. I know, Hank, that you continue to think that they should be throwing on first down.
Yeah, they can't. Number one, they cannot run sideways against Dallas, and they've already proven that they can't. I'm sure that they would have more success throwing the football, especially on 1st and 10 with play action passes. The thing you don't want to do, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're playing against those 5 and 6 defensive backs of Dallas. Boy, that's really murder.
That's Bill Neal nearest you. Part of the Giant defense on 2nd and 12. Dallas leading 3-0. That's Leon Bright again. Bolting off the right side and picking up 4 or 5, but I'm sure he thinks somebody grabbed his face mask.
But that was a good offensive thrust by the offensive line that time on the right side. They did a good job of moving people off the ball. I'm talking about specifically Turner and Gordon King, along with the offensive center, Ernie Hughes.
Bright is a rookie from Florida State. It'll be 3rd and 6. Denver now leading San Diego 28-0 as Craig Morton has thrown 4 touchdown passes. Sims trying to put one up himself here and does. A man open, and he has him, Johnny Perkins, down the middle. The Dallas blitz didn't get there in time, and Perkins did. Dennis Thurman, the defender. First down, Giants.
This is what you like to see. They had a blitz that time. Good protection up front. Bo Matthews does a good job of blocking on the play. He throws the ball right down the middle to Perkins. He has to wait for the ball. Thurman, number 32, comes in late, but Perkins, he maintains possession, number 86, and a big first down for the New York Giants. There we see it again. Martin spins back trying to make inside pressure, but he doesn't do the job. Thurman makes the tackle, but not until after he makes that great catch.
Here's Tom Landry, his team leading 3-0. Rarely does he show any emotion, and still he doesn't. There's Beasley Reese. Part of the Giants defense as Leon Bright gets down to about the 22 before he's tripped up by the entire middle of the Dallas line. Miami and Baltimore. Let's see what's happening. 31-28. The Dolphins continue unbeaten. They're 4-0. Best start they've had since they had that undefeated year.
And they also won 4 preseason games, so they're 8-0 already, Pat. Isn't that something?
And how about, speaking of something, Denver 28, San Diego nothing.
Boy, what a surprise that is.
Here it's 2nd and 6 with 7 minutes 15 seconds left in the first half, and Dallas struggling a bit, leading the Giants 3-0. Bright tries to get off the right side, gets to about the 20. John Dutton makes the tackle.
Bo, watch Randy White, number 54. The play is going away from him. They get a good surge on him. Bo Matthews, the number 41, the fullback, is supposed to be blocking on the tackle on the other side, Dutton. He doesn't do a very good job, and for that reason, they don't make any yardage on the play. But they did a good job of containing and restricting the right tackle, Randy White.
Brad Benson and Ernie Hughes did the number on him. It's 3rd and 4. Sims looking wide to the right, and down he goes. Randy White, the first man on the scene.
Here's Randy White on Simmons. He licks Simmons to the inside and puts the squeeze on the quarterback, Phil Simmons.
There comes Phil Simms off the field. Joe Danello will be up for another field goal attempt. Boy, you think about the two people who in Cowboy history have played that position, defensive right tackle, and really there've only been two of major consideration. One was Bob Lilly, and now Randy White. That's pretty good.
Yeah, two great players. One's already in the Hall of Fame, and the other will be eventually too.
Danilo from 42 yards out hits it with plenty to spare. Joe Danilo makes this a tie ball game at 3 apiece in the second quarter. 6:07 left at Texas Stadium. We go loosening his leg. It ought to be loose after he hit that 42-yard field goal just seconds ago. That's the story of the Giant drive, and here comes Danilo. James Jones back deep. And deep he has to go as Danilo kicks that ball about 75 yards in the air.
Well, he already massaged that one, didn't he?
Next week, next Sunday, CBS Sports will bring you the NFL again. Chicago at Minnesota, Dallas, St. Louis, Green Bay at the Giants, San Francisco, Washington, Detroit at Tampa Bay. Check your local listings, and remember, it all begins with the NFL today.
You know, talking to Tom yesterday at practice, the day before, he indicated he was a little concerned about his team maybe being a little flat after the Monday night game. And it looks like they are. They're not very peppy and not very bouncy here this afternoon, are they, Pat?
That short week apparently had its effect as Ron Springs lunges off the right side for about 2 yards. Bill Neal tripped him up. Landry. Of course, the more successful a team is, the more you'd like to see it, and that means that you have those unusual schedules.
Yes, and in spite of that, somehow, some way, you have to be ready and you have to find a way to win.
Right now, they're tied at 3 with 5.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Field goals by Septien for Dallas, Danilo for New York. Dallas has the football, 2nd down 7 at their own 23.
They like to run to this side and this formation. Are they going to throw this time?
Outside Dorsett. That's a lateral. That's a lateral. Look out. If they recovered it, they can't advance it.
Well, that's a good observation. I thought sure it was a lateral pass. Let's take a look at it. He's got a wing back on the right side, and he looks downfield, throws the ball to the left side of Tony Dorsett. The ball is bobbled. It sure looked like a lateral.
It did to me, too. I don't think they could have advanced it after he knocked it down, but they certainly could have recovered it, and I thought they did.
And I'm surprised that Dallas didn't respond and realize that they shouldn't try to officiate the game. They better just fall in football.
Whatever. It's them doing the playing. Us doing the talking. It's 3rd and 7.
It's a lot easier to talk than it is to play, Pat.
It sure is. Out of the shotgun, the pocket has White open, knocked away by Brian Kelly, number 55, intended for Dorsett. That's an interesting story, Hank. Brian Kelly went to California Lutheran College, which is where the Cowboys train. Now he plays for the Giants. There's number 55, and they say when the Cowboys first went there and he was back in the area, they just couldn't get him off the practice field. He kept hanging around and staying, and now he's playing against them.
I watched them practice last week, and I was very impressed with the way they all practice, but especially the practice habits of Brian Kelly.
Deep is Leon Bright. That's for one team. For the other folks in white, it's Danny White, the quarterback.
Come on up and get it. Come on up and get it.
As soon as Leon Bright makes the catch, Tony Dickerson is right there, I believe. It might be Benny Barnes who has excelled. It was Benny.
You know, I'm surprised they didn't call that. He ought to have more room to catch the ball than that. He didn't have much room at all. Looks like he might have interfered with the opportunity to make a fair catch. I think, Pat, he ought to have the opportunity to make a fair catch if he wanted to. In this particular case, he had no chance whatsoever. The tackler was right on top of him. It's a wonder he didn't fumble the ball, and the official did not call it.
Now it's Benny Barnes, the tackler, and Leon Bright, Billy Taylor, and Bo Matthews. And Leon Perry, I beg your pardon, who's the ball carrier right now, is back after having a wind knocked out of him earlier. Stopped by Harvey Martin first.
Pat, look at this. Dallas hasn't made a first down in the second quarter. That's unusual.
That is Phil Tabor. Just taking a little refreshment right there. started on defense today in place of George Martin. Martin has come in on passing downs as Taylor comes out and Sims looks over to the sideline. See what encouragement or what the coaching staff might suggest he do in the situation, which is 2nd and 7 at the Giant 45. And now I've had enough of that, and Phil Sims takes a timeout. The Giants now have 2 left as he comes over to visit. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Sims drops, has some time, throws in the direction of his tight end Gary Shirt. Number 87 over his head. Benny Barnes on the coverage and covered well. Minnesota and Green Bay. Let's check that. That's a final. Minnesota 30, Green Bay 13. Looks like Randy White might be shaken up just a little bit. Minnesota evens its record at 2-2 now, and Green Bay goes to 1-3.
Tell you that Bud Grant does a great job with that team. I saw them a couple of weeks ago against Oakland, and they just were terrible. And he's come back since that game and won 2 consecutive games.
Well, of course, he's gotten his regular quarterback back, and that helps. Holding. Double violation, face mask against Dallas, so they'll replay it. By the way, those of you who watched
Holding, offense, face mask,
Green Bay and Minnesota,
offsetting fouls.
I don't think the Cowboys agree with that judgment.
Now, Too Tall Jones is still squeaking a little bit about that call.
By the way, we were speculating before, Hank, about the last time Oakland was shut out.
Face mask, 72 offense.
Now we got it settled. Maybe. Last time they were shut out was by Detroit, 1966.
It was a long time ago.
Again, there's some confusion here about where the ball should wind up. As far as the scoreboard said, it's 2nd and 7, 4:17 to go in the first half. The score is tied 3-3. Pat Summerall with Hank Stram at Texas Stadium. Bob Bruning is one of the defensive captains, by the way, and he is principally involved in that discussion. The other is Charlie Waters. And now what?
Face mask against the offense is declined. 3rd down.
Billy Ard. Brad Benson, the starter and the backup. It'll be 3rd down now at 7 to go. 4:17 left to play in the first half. 3-3 to score. The ball at the 45-yard line in Giant territory. Freedy comes out wide to the left. Everson Walls, the rookie, out with him.
And Bruce Thornton, 77, is playing right in for Martin.
On Sims, and Sims is blasted down by Ed Too Tall Jones, and Ernie Stotner knocks the ball down. Larry Bethea, that is.
Watch number 72, the defensive left end. He goes right into the offensive tackle and then inside of the offensive guard. Talking about Turner, and is in hot pursuit of the quarterback. He's got a free shot. Bethea, also 76, has a shot. And Phil Sims has to throw the ball before he really wants to, and it goes incomplete.
That's Dave Jennings with an artillery bomb this time. Out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. What a kick by Jennings. A beauty.
Dave Jennings' punt goes out of bounds at the Dallas 3-yard line.
Great kick by the smiling Dave Jennings. Score tied at 3. First and 10 Dallas. 4:03 left to play. The ball's at the 3 after that great punt by Jennings. Larry Flowers looking on. Danny White, the quarterback. Dorsett and Springs behind him. Hand off Dorsett. Hit at the 5 by Bill Courier. The safety man came up and filled the hole well.
He is hit at the 5-yard line.
A play action fake from that same kind of a play, I think, Pat, would be very effective in this situation, I think. 2nd and 8. But they responded very quickly to what they saw. Anytime you stuff that ball in the belly of Tony Dorsett, they're going to respond to it. And there's a good chance for some kind of a play upfield from play action.
Two tight ends. Dorsett looking for some skipping room and gets out to about the 6 before the Giants, led by Brian Kelly, swarm on him.
They try to cross him up that time. I'm talking about the Giant defense. That time they use a double tight end offense with double flankers on the outside with Dorsett in the backfield all by himself. That's normally a passing formation. They evidently thought they could maybe make some kind of a big play without any kind of a risk on the run, but they didn't succeed, and the Giants did another super job of responding to the play.
You saw what statistics Dorsett has put together so far. 11 carries, 27 yards. Ray Perkins and everybody who watched felt that 33 was the man to stop, and they've done a good job of that. And now Danny White wants a timeout with 2 minutes 35 seconds left to play in the first half. They took a little too long in the huddle, and White, as you look at the 0 and sunshine right there, thought the clock might run out against him, so he took that timeout. Danny White over on the far side of the field with Glenn Carano and Mike Haynes looking on from this side. Dallas has made only 3 yards in the second quarter. So that Giant defense has held up. Now they have made the decision, at least after the meeting with Landry and John Mackovic. It'll be 3rd and 6. 2 minutes 35 seconds left in the first period, the first half, I'm sorry. Score tied at 3. White in the shotgun. White fires out of the end zone, barely got it away in the direction of Tony Hill, barely avoided a safety, as a matter of fact.
I don't know how much closer to a safety you can come than this, Pat. Do you? Look at this.
No.
He's back in the pocket. Somebody tackles him low. There it is. It looked like Taylor, and he looked like he was hit before he released the football that time, Pat. It sure looked like a safety to me.
It was Lawrence Taylor who got there. White on the way down let it go in the direction of Tony Hill. And now White, after putting his shoe back on, will punt out of his own end zone and deep. The Giants should get the ball back in good shape. In fact, maybe after a first down, Danilo will be in range. Not a bad kick. Leon Bright back to his own 39-yard line. Bright with room. Bright almost broke it down to the 40-yard line before he is tripped up by Angelo King. And indeed, the Giants do get the ball back in good shape inside the Dallas 40. 2:19 left to play. The Giants have 2 timeouts left. Play so far in the NFL this year. Billy Taylor and Leon Perry, the runners. Sims on first. Looks, fires, ball deflected, almost picked off. Hit by Randy White. Guy Brown made the diving attempt at making the interception, number 59. Dutton, Lewis go out. And the shock troop comes in. Bethea at left tackle. Ernest Graywin in motion. Here's the rush, and here's the throw. Out of bounds. 2:09 on the first half clock. Sims under the center. Not in the shotgun this time. Dallas faking blitz, and here they come. White almost had him before he got rid of it. Ball intended for Johnny Perkins, slightly behind him, and the pressure again got to Sims.
Sims hurried himself a little bit that time. Perkins was coming down into the inside. He hurried himself. He didn't have to throw the ball quite as quickly. He threw the ball behind Perkins.
4th down, and Danilo, no. It'll be Jennings. Aimed at the sideline. 2:05 left to play in the first half. Jennings again shooting for that sideline and out of bounds, and he'll get it out of bounds. Not as effective as last time around. The preceding message was furnished by the National Football League. At Summerall with Hank Stram at Texas Stadium. Hot and humid this afternoon. The score tied at 3 apiece. Dallas has been pretty much tied up and stifled in the second period particularly. Haven't done anything.
And they really don't look like they're really involved in this game with as much enthusiasm as they've been in other games that I've seen them play, and I'm sure the Monday night game has had an effect.
Rafferty the center, White the quarterback. In the shotgun, the screen pass. Intended for Dorsett, Lawrence Taylor. And look at the job that he does. Brett Musburger, Irv Cross. An in-depth look at Boom Boom Mancini. Here's the inside handoff to Ron Springs. Out of the shotgun situation.
In a game that the quarterback has the option to call his own plays, and they send him in very rarely.
That is complete to Jay Saldi, and now the timeout comes. Baltimore won. You'll recall on a field goal by Jim O'Brien. 21 seconds left in the first half with the score tied at 3-3. White this time has adequate protection. He is Drew Pearson. And Drew steps out of bounds at the 41-yard line in Giant territory with 1:15 left to go, and the clock is stopped.
Bill Courier that time, number 29, has got deep outside. They're very, very deep conscious. And for that reason, they were able to throw the ball in front of the defensive back and behind the short back, who was Haynes on the play. They gave him a lot of room, and they were able to drill the ball in there for the first down.
And Dallas in Giant territory now at the 41-yard line. Another first, and Septien will be back in range. Rafferty up over the ball. Kurt Peterson, second-year man from Missouri, next to him at right guard, where Rafferty usually stays. White steps up and throws. Looking for Butch Johnson. Got him, touchdown. Just like that.
They had double cover that time, Pat. Double coverage, and in spite of that, Butch Johnson ran right through the double coverage. Danny White throws it right down the middle in beautiful shape. But look at the double on the receiver, Butch Johnson. But in spite of that, he just outran both guys and made the catch. The ball was thrown perfect. Boy, what a play by Butch Johnson.
Lawrence Taylor had a hand on Danny White just before he stepped up into the pocket. Oh, so close to being a sack. Winds up being a touchdown. It's 9-3. Stepped in with Waters, the holder. Penalty markers everywhere. The kick is good. So it'll be a 25-yard extra point now. Septien, who hasn't missed this year.
He's very methodical as to what he does before he addresses the ball and kicks it.
Doesn't really matter. It's 10-3. Let's go back and look at that touchdown by Johnson.
Watch Taylor to the left of the quarterback. 56. He gets a piece of the quarterback, but not enough of a piece. White steps up into the pocket, delivers the ball to Butch Johnson, and the ball is thrown perfectly. Beasley Reese is there, but in spite of that, he was able to run right by the defensive backs and make the touchdown on the play. You see Taylor going beyond the quarterback. Martin is trying to get pressure but doesn't get it, and there you see him getting the ball.
From White to Pearson and White to Johnson for the touchdown. Septien in the direction of Bright at the 6. And Leon Bright smashes out to about the 27-yard play in the first half, and Dallas leading 10-3. This is Billy Taylor. Harvey Martin, Submarines under. Apparently content now to run out the clock as Billy Taylor runs out for a first down before Dickerson makes the tackle. Freedy out wide to the left. Perkins and Gray wide to the right. No tight end. Here's Sims up in the pocket. Ernest Gray at the 45-yard line in Dallas territory, stopped by Steve Will and Martin. 11 seconds left on the first half clock. Here's Sims. Throws outside to Billy Taylor. Taylor cuts out of bounds at the 40.
I've always been a great fight fan. I remember Mancini when he fought back in 1941 and 42. And Tony Zeo was a great middleweight champion from my hometown of Gary, Indiana. Really a great middleweight champion.
That's going to get there. 3 over the Giants as Septien kicks off in the direction of Leon Bright. At the 4, he starts his move. Bright taken down by number 55 first. Danny Spradlin with a penalty marker down. Anthony Dickerson down again to help out. Phil Simms, still the Giant quarterback. Leon Perry and Billy Taylor, the 2 runners. That's Perry who swings out in motion. Pitches out to Taylor. Marker's in front. Taylor is hit.
For job from when you talk about moving the football, they were able to get 222 yards to 177 for Dallas. But the only thing that's really important is the points on the scoreboard, and they trail at this particular stage of the game 10-3.
6-yard pickup by Taylor, make it 2nd and 4. Double tight ends now for the Giants, Mullity and Shirt. That's a handoff Taylor. Taylor nudged from the outside at about the 15 after he picked up 2 by Harvey Mudd, San Diego. 3rd down, about 2.
This would be a good time for a play action pass.
Well, maybe it would have been.
Offense, 3rd down.
Oh, I thought it was.
So 3rd down, 7 now as Simms drops to throw. And does. Outside, complete. Out of bounds. Mike Freedy falls out just past the 1st down marker. Everson Walls over there with him. He's the interception king so far. Led the nation last year with 11. Leads the Cowboys this year with 3. The 49ers have gone ahead of New Orleans 14-7 at Candlestick.
Freedy that time really exercised good awareness on the play. He knew exactly where he had to go for the 1st down, made the catch. Good execution on the play.
Freedy out to the right this time as the Giants do change that cadence again and go on a quick count and get to a 3. 2nd down. Curry. The ball is loose. Taylor is saying we got it. So is Brad Benson, and it looks like indeed the Giants do. And Taylor tries, might be just a little shy. It's going to be close as Everson Walls came up to stop it. Got it. 1st down, Giants. The opening moments of the 3rd quarter at Texas Stadium. It's Dallas 10, the Giants 3.
He's got some room on the left side, 1-on-1 if he throws the ball, Pat.
Shirt, the tight end, quickly. After about a 5-yard pickup, Michael Downs came up to stop him on that completion from Simms to Shirt. Oh, Matthews, one of the running backs, and this is Leon Bright. And the rookie from Florida State has a Giant 1st down. Bob Brunig tripped him up. Now all that bright sunshine and much of the heat is gone from the playing field, at least. Some of it's still on the crowd in the stands. Simms is being chased by White and is down by Randy White. Never saw him coming as he came around his blocker. Ard, Billy Ard.
Randy White. Simmons is blocking him on the left side. He gets around Simmons. Backside, Phil Simms is trying desperately to get the ball downfield. Concentration on getting the ball downfield.
Giants 2 sacks, Dallas 2 sacks. Identical figures. Both quarterbacks number 11 as well.
Safety blitz.
This is on. Simms beats it. At least the rush. He doesn't complete the pass intended for Freedy. Steve Wilson back there with him, but a lot of heat was on Phil Simms.
Sure.
He'll probably have another chance to look at a blitz right here. But now the Cowboys start to back off. 4-man rush. And rush they do. Simms throws incomplete. Intended for Shirk. No penalty flag. Shirk is really upset. He thinks he was fooled with at least. Michael Downs was tangling with him. Dave Jennings back deep to punt. Playing and punting in his 107th consecutive game. And deep, James Jones from Mississippi State. A dangerous return man. Had a few minor scrapes and scratches during preseason, but now appears to be okay. He'll have a chance with this one. Slips one tackle, now gets around to the outside. Penalty markers everywhere as Jones is out of bounds over by the Dallas bench about the 31. Dallas.
Against the Cowboys.
Pat Summerall with Hank Stram at Texas Stadium. Between Dallas and Fort Worth in Irving. It's 10-3. The Cowboys lead the Giants. Dupree and Salvi both lined up on the left side. Two tight ends. There's the play that Dorsett broke for the 75 last week. The same one. The name of it is Jayhawk 38 pitch something. I can't remember the whole thing.
Yeah, you need more than 30 seconds to be able to spit that one out. And you know, that time the linebacker for the New York Giants was on the wrong side of the formation, and I was surprised Danny White waited till he came over on the wing back side before he snapped the ball. He had a distinct advantage and waited for him to get there before he snapped the ball.
A 2-yard pickup by Dorsett, who has indeed been shut down most of the day. Cowboys and Danny White trying to throw. He spins out of that one. He's going to take off. White out for enough for a first down, out past the 25 to the 29. First down, Dallas. Brad Van Pelt tackled the quarterback.
He looked like he was going right through a revolving door here. Watch him. He's back into the pocket. Then he steps up. Watch the pivot. Spins around, goes right up the middle. Springs is leading the play and throws a block on Brian Kelly.
Hand signals from Makovic. He used to, in past years, bring messengers in with the play, as the Browns did for so many years. Here's the play again. Dorsett looking for a place, finally finds it. Dorsett out to the 40. Of course, you couldn't do it anymore, but Hank, I think you had one of the most unusual ways of getting plays into a game.
Yeah, we had a young quarterback by the name of David James in 1974, and so we used a tape recorder, and I'd call the plays on the sideline, and then we had a runner, Larry Brunson, who would go in with the play.
With the tape recorder?
With the tape recorder, yeah, and play it back, and then when he got to the huddle, he pushed the button. The play was called for the team. then he'd run off the field, give it back to me, and that's where we sent in the plays, and that's why they changed the rule whereby the runner has to be in for at least one play.
So actually, you know that Hank Stram was a disc jockey. First down. Here's the pitch back to Springs this time, looking for running room, not finding much. He did get on a surge, about 3, stopped by Bill Neal. Second down here and 8 to go. 7:25 left to play third quarter. Dallas leading the Giants 10-3. A touchdown pass. White to Butch Johnson has been all the scoring. Touchdown wise. Here's Dorsett looking to run again. Dorsett steps over a blocker out to the 46. Let's go for an update of what's going on. Here it's 10-3 Dallas. With the Cowboys on the move, a third down and 4 situation. They move from the shotgun. Or the spread, as Coach Landry calls it. White looking, and again he has room to take off, but he throws instead to Drew Pearson. It'll be a first down. Mark Haynes tackled him. Pearson, Mr. Clutch.
He gets jammed on the outside, talking about Drew Pearson. And then he gets the defensive back turned, talking about Haynes, and comes back for the ball. The ball's right on the numbers. And it's good. It's a good reception for Drew Pearson.
Another Dallas first down as well. In Giant territory this time. Cowboys chewing up that clock now. Wide up under center with Springs behind him. Alongside Dorsett. Pearson goes in motion. White will throw on first. And goes deep for Butch Johnson. Nothing doing as Terry Jackson was right back there with him, shoulder to shoulder, and just nudged him away from the football.
Why, it'll keep that defense honest and put less pressure on the running game.
Interesting in talking to Ray Perkins yesterday. The thing he felt he needed most, particularly on defense, was a pass rushing specialist. Now that's pretty refined.
Well, it is with situation substitution the way it is. They're not bringing in a 5th defensive back because they have 2 great linebackers on the outside. But they feel that if they really needed something, one specific thing.
Maybe not again this year. Drew Pearson, of course, one of the most consistent receivers anywhere as far as hanging on to the football and running patterns. 3rd down 10. Ball at the Giant 44 with 5:36 left to play 3rd quarter. Protection does hold up this time. White finally throws it away. Perhaps he had room enough to run for a first. Byron Hunt has replaced Lawrence Taylor at linebacker. Taylor has hurt his elbow in some fashion, probably will not be back this afternoon. White angling sideline again. It's a good looking punt. Out of bounds. Let's see. 9-yard loss. 3. Giants have the football. 1st and 10.
The last time they were in this situation, they ran. I'll be surprised if they don't throw something here. They do.
It is. Tight end Mullity. Front 4 for Dallas as it began. Jones and Martin the ends. Dutton and White the tackles as Dutton goes to the flex spot now. And they go at the bubble. They make it work. Billy Taylor does for about base 6. 4th quarter. The Cardinals trying to even their record at 2 apiece.
I wonder what the weather's like there. I'm surprised it's such a low-scoring game.
Especially after the Cardinals put 40 up there last week. Bo Matthews, the ball carrier, for a few yards. Perkins split wide to the right. Quick count. Sims drops under pressure. His arm had started forward. It's an incomplete pass as he's hit by Larry Bethea. That was very close also.
Well, that backside, the quarterback goes back into the pocket, and he doesn't see that defensive right end. Boy, that's really murder. They really take some bad shots.
I suppose that's why over the years most of your great pass rushers have not been defensive left ends. They've been right ends.
Yes, that's right. Of course, we had a great defensive end, Jerry Mays, number 75, who lives right here in Dallas. He was a super player, and he was a good guy against the rush and also the pass. He did a great job for us in Kansas City.
Nice guy. Jennings roots this one to Jones, chases him back to the 20. He swings back to the 19. He's got some room. Jones jumps through a couple of blockers, gets out to about the 28. No flags. And one good return by James Jones.
His office the other day, and he's got them all stacked up, all kinds of hats and all kinds of boots in his office, so he won't miss one hat.
You can tell that game's outdoors because he won't wear his hat.
Well, he better nail it on the next time he wears it outside.
In the Superdome or the Astrodome, he won't wear it. Bad enough to lose the game. Here's White. There's Dorsett. The reverse comes, and this is Pearson with a blocker in front. That's Drew Pearson. Bangs out of bounds on the 40. About the 42-yard line. Well, they mark it now at the 40. It'll be enough for a first down.
Pearson is coming in motion to this side. The timing of the play, they pitch it to Dorsett. He gives it to Pearson around the outside. And Carson, number 53, has a chance to make the tackle. He gets a piece of him, slows him down. He's finally knocked out of bounds.
Dallas first down, 3:09 left, 3rd quarter. Cowboys leading 10-3. Pat Summerall with Hank Stram, Texas Stadium. Dorsett and Springs remain the running back tandem, and now Dorsett the flanker.
They like to run to this side from this formation. If they run, here they come.
Could be an option. Springs left-handed. Penalty marker down. Springs is down. George Martin made the tackle.
Try to get the flaps up on the play, but couldn't quite get it done. George Martin, number 75, who's playing with an injured elbow and doing a good job here this afternoon. We didn't think he's going to play.
After the preliminary word we got last week about an elbow being broken, and the early reports were that he'd be out at least 3 weeks. Now here he is playing. All he can't do is straighten his left arm out.
Number 67 offense.
Pat Donovan.
Decline. Second down.
You have to really give the New York Giants an awful lot of credit. They're doing a super job on defense. It's been a long time since I've seen the Dallas Cowboys get stymied like they have here this afternoon from an offensive standpoint.
They'd really been rolling in their first 3 games. 35 points Monday night against New England. Dallas leading 10-3. Lawrence Taylor back in the game for the Giants. White to pass. Blitz is on. White fires, intended for Butch Johnson, incomplete. Penalty marker down again. Hank, I had the impression that there's something unusual about the Dallas offensive line. And now finally, after years of Cowboy watching, figured out what it is. They're all number 60. Something.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yep.
Donovan 67, Scott 68, Rafferty in the middle 64, Peterson 65, and Cooper 61.
I think that's why they didn't keep Frederick in there. He had a 71 number.
Wonder if he knows
5-yard
that.
face mask penalty, 80 defense. First down.
Penalty against Tabor. It'll be an automatic first down, Giants. Middle. And George Martin, the left defensive end, the handoff is to Dorsett. Just get a feeling that he's about ready to pop one.
And off to Tony Dorsett.
And I think really one thing about the great backs is that you might stymie them for a little bit in the first and second quarters, but the great backs have the great capacity to make a lot of yardage in the third and fourth quarters.
2nd and 5, and if there's been one thing that Dorsett is more of this year, it is durable.
And he's not any heavier. We saw him the other day at practice, and I was surprised how light he looks compared to the last time I saw him. But he weighs 190, and he's really playing terrifically well.
15 for 50 so far. Dorsett back deep in the eye. This is when he becomes more dangerous. Hand off to Springs, and Springs tiptoes for about 3, shy of a first down, stopped by Brad Van Pelt and Brian Kelly.
I'm a little surprised that the Dallas Cowboys haven't run more counter plays. Pat, really, that defense of the New York Giants is reacting and pursuing so quickly to what they see, especially anytime they stuff the ball into the belly of Tony Dorsett, that they should be able to run something where they lean one way and come back the other way with great success.
Is that more difficult from the eye than it would be from a regular pro set?
No, it really isn't, because you send a fullback up the middle and take a stagger step with a tailback and go to the opposite direction, and usually that kind of a play is very successful.
3rd down, about 2 it looks like. Both tight ends are 2 on this side, or at least they were. There goes Selby. There's a counter play, and Springs has that first down. Just what you call for.
That defense really reacts so fast to what they say that kind of a play was really very effective. And they get off the ball in good shape. Watch him. He takes a counter step and gets the linebackers moving in one direction. Look at the big hole. A great big cavity for Springs to run through. Carson, number 53, finally recovers in response and makes the tackle, along with 28 Beasley Reese.
Behind a great block by Jim Cooper, the right tackle. And I think that counter step set up the block a little bit for him.
Yeah, that should help.
10-3 Dallas. First down for Dallas. Dorsett in the grasp of McGriff. And thrown backwards, and they tried to take the ball away. They got it, but Dorsett was down. At the end of the 3rd quarter. Ball at the 45-yard line of the Giants. Cowboys with it, and they lead 10-3. 3 Dallas quarterbacks. 14 is Gary Hogaboom. Glenn Carano is 18, the right side of your picture. And the real quarterback in the soft felt hat, Tom Landry. And Danny White, the executor, number 11. Second and 10, Dallas at the Giant 45-yard line. The Cowboys leading by 7. Benson over on the sideline. That's Brad. That picture tells you just about how hot it is down on that field. 93 degrees when the game started.
And usually they say it's about 10 degrees hotter because of the field.
That artificial turf does get hot. That's new artificial turf, by the way, at Texas Stadium. Dorsett and Springs behind White. 2nd and 10. Springs wide open. Puts a juke. Steps out of the hands of one Giant tackler, brought down by Brad Van Pelt. That was Mark Haynes who missed him.
That's a play they like to run. on adversity situations after they recover a fumble and intercept a pass, play action fake, and surprisingly they ran it on 2nd and 10 because he usually doesn't hold anybody, but the halfback or the fullback Springs was wide open in the flat, doing a good job of maneuvering, getting upfield and getting as much yardage as he possibly can, but it's a play action pass to Springs in the right flat.
It'll be 3rd and 2 as Courier was shaken up on the play, replaced by number 37 Larry Flowers. 35-17 Denver over San Diego. The Chargers charging back. Dallas moves into the spread.
Look at all the room on the left side, Pat.
High snap, but that's where White's looking. Finds Tony Hill. He had him a long time. In the meantime, way downfield, the penalty markers down near Lawrence Taylor and Tony Dorsett.
Tony Hill, there you see him hooking in front of the defensive back, the right cornerback Terry Jackson. He makes the catch and he comes up very late. We see Brian Kelly coming in to make the play and the tackle, and you don't even see the defensive back in the picture because he was that far off of the receiver on the play.
In the meantime, a penalty marker still down on the field, way downfield, about the Giant 20. And the decision apparently has not been made as yet by either the officials or the Cowboys.
Illegal contact, number 24 defense, 1st down.
Terry Jackson, illegal contact has been called. It's a 1st down Giants. It was anyway on the pass completion to Tony Hill. Cheerleaders a little warm in spite of how they're dressed. Springs moves back into the regular fullback spot. Drew Pearson goes in motion. Fake handoff to Dorsett. Lots of time for White. There should be penalty marker down. Pass complete. Down to Pearson. Pearson fighting to about the 7, but they'll bring this one back. George Martin limping off. Cowboy injured on the play and down.
That was a play action pass again. They fake and act like they're going to run a sweep to the right side. They hold the defensive people pretty well. I'm talking about literally, I think, because there's a penalty on the play. Martin goes beyond the quarterback, White. He throws downfield to Drew Pearson, who is wide open in the middle area. He has too much time to throw the ball, and for that reason.
Number 61 offense, 1st down.
And that's why he had so much time. They were holding on the play, Patrick.
Number 61 is Jim Cooper. Because of the unique architectural layout of this stadium, now the sun once again becomes a factor as it comes underneath the roof and the top deck. And the Cowboys moving in that direction. White moving back, trying to set up a screen. Does. One blocker. Not enough as Brian Kelly makes an excellent play. But nobody ever gets dirty, do they?
No, you don't have to worry about cleaning the uniforms that much.
2nd and 26 for Dallas.
Look at the middle. Something in the middle should be there.
Middle is where they go. Intended for Tony Hill. Broken up by Terry Jackson and Brian Kelly again. Take a look at Hill. That's who he was looking at.
Hill goes down to the straight down the field and breaks to the inside, but he gets a lot of depth. Instead of squaring off the pattern, he ran right into the defensive back, Pat, and that's why the ball was able to be knocked down by Jackson, number 24. Had he squared off the pattern and came right down the line, he drifted about 5 yards and drifted right into the defensive back, number 24, Jackson.
That's why those angles on pass patterns are so very important.
And the field is like a stage. That's why you have the numbers and the hash marks to direct you where you have to go.
White back to throw. Out of time and does throw. Has a man open. Pearson still on his feet. Pearson inside the 10 to the 9. Mark Haynes finally got him down, but Drew Pearson on a great individual effort is just out of gas.
Not enough pressure on the quarterbacks. Very simple, Pat. Look at all the time he has to throw the ball. He looks all over the place and finally is able to throw the ball deep downfield to Drew Pearson, who is wide open in the middle. There's no way in the world that you can protect against that kind of a pass when you have that much time to throw the football.
And that much talent on the other end in the person of Pearson. As I said before, might be just fatigue. He did take a couple of hard hits to the midsection, and he'll get a rest. Johnson, Butch goes to the left. Cowboys will go with 2 tight ends. First down and goal at the 9. Dallas already leading 10-3, trying for more. Dorsett takes the give, and Dorsett burrows down to about the 3.5. Brian Kelly makes the stop.
Dorsett now in the I formation, kind of a counter play, handing behind to Dorsett. He gets a good lean, goes through the hole with his shoulder pads in good position to take a blow and to deliver a blow, and takes the ball down about the 4-yard line. Good shot by Tony Dorsett.
And by our director, Tony Verna. At the 4. There's Dorsett. Here comes Salvi starting in motion. White fakes once. Looks again. Throws. Over the head of number 89, Billy Joe Dupree. No place to go. No place for White to throw. Dorsett's lean, which is very important for a running back.
No question about that. George Rogers, the great running back of the New Orleans Saints, he's a 6 o'clock runner, runs straight up in the air. And Dorsett was like 6'15" that time with a good lean.
It'll be 3rd and goal. That's run Springs, and he won't get there, and we'll see Septien. Curtis McGriff led the defense. He had some help from Van Pelt and a lot of other folks as well. Here comes Saldi at you.
Tackle trap that time with a left tackle trying to trap from the outside in, and here again you must give the Giant defense a lot of credit. Boy, they're doing a good job in there.
They've been on the field a long time in the second half. 4th period, 11:05 left to play. Charlie Waters will hold Raphael Septien, and you saw that amazing statistic about him. He's only missed once this year. And as I mentioned before, he already has more field goals in 4 games this year than he did all of last year. Septien hits. We'll be back with more of the Giants-Dallas game after this word from your local station. Pat Summerall with Hank Stram as Raphael Septien sets the kickoff and drives it in the direction of Leon Bright. And the Giant returners, Alvin Garrett winds up with it, number 84. They collided for a minute. Right now, as the score here is 13. And a scuffle and struggle, and a safety is indicated for Dallas. That'll make it 15-3, and it's still a struggle. Harvey Martin and Leon Bright are those involved, and I bet on Martin because he's still got his helmet on.
That's right. You can tell he's a veteran. He's still got the cap on. We had several fights here in Dallas back in the old days of the American Football League, and E.J. Hollop, he was always involved in them. The first time as a rookie, he took his hat off, and he learned very quickly to never take it off again.
I think I said Leon Bright. It's Leon Perry who's involved in the fracas. Here's Sims.
A play action fake, and not a very good fake to number 30. Too tall Jones comes in from the outside and knocks the ball loose.
The ball was possessed in the end zone by the offensive team. Safety.
That means the Giants had it. Roy Simmons possessed it, and so it's 15-3. We have 10:18 left to play in this contest, and Dallas is now starting to dominate. Time of possession, you see Dallas has had it about 3 minutes more. And the opponents, the Giants, Dave Jennings, after the safety, will punt. Can't step over the 20. He hit it all that well. Steve Wilson will return it. And goes out of bounds at the 35 by Larry Flowers, where Dallas will take over. In fact, that little scuffle in the end zone, Hank, you were saying about a fight.
Yeah, we used to have some, you know, in our practice sessions, and what we did, we usually had a sack of boxing gloves on the practice field, 16-ounce gloves, and once we got into a little pugilistic event, why, we'd get the two participants involved, and we'd get a big circle and say, you guys want to fight? Put the gloves on and let's fight. So they'd fight for a little bit and push and shove each other around a little bit, huff and puff, and we'd have a lot of fun and go right back to work and get a lot of good work done.
Did they keep the helmets on?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They didn't want to have any broken noses. Although the way they punched, I don't think we had any concern really about broken noses.
It's first down, 10. Dallas, they lead 15-3. Dorsett looks and tries to turn the corner and did. Curtis McGriff stayed right with him.
Tony Dorsett carries. Fourth out of bounds, 17-41.
Tom Landry always in command and never rattled or ruffled or without respect.
Yeah, he's really has earned the right to be one of the great coaches in the history, I think, of the National Football League, and in conjunction with that, a super guy along with it.
Yeah, he was my kicking coach with the Giants, and he was excellent at that as well. He's quite a punter himself, as a matter of fact.
He was?
Yes, he was. Tony Hill out to the right. Johnson out to the left. Dorsett of Dallas first down. He almost broke it. Harry Carson tackled him.
First down.
This is the nice thing about the I formation. You see, it takes advantage of over pursuing defensive people. He starts to the left, shoulders a square at the exchange, and he breaks away from the flow and goes back on the other side of the center and is finally tackled there by Carson, number 53. But he couldn't have done that from any other formation except the I formation, where he's 7 yards deep and has an opportunity to really get good vision.
Of course, he has a lot of individual talent that helps him exploit that as well. First down. Dorsett again banging up to midfield. Curtis McGriff stopped him.
It's really amazing how well you coach when you have somebody like that in your backfield. Isn't that right, Pat?
That's Springs banging down inside Giant territory to about the 46. Bill Neal stopped him. Dorsett now unofficially 20 carries for 69 yards. He's had those 300-yard games in a row, but unless something pops here pretty soon, that streak will go by the wayside.
Or more. And the 23 games, they won 22, and the one game where he rushed 168 yards, they lost, and that was against the New York Giants last year when they won 38-35. Talking about New York.
That's when White had the 5 passes intercepted. Out of the shotgun, he throws to Tony Dorsett. Nothing doing this time. McGriff wasn't fooled by anybody. And Curtis McGriff, who now limps off, stayed right with Dorsett the whole time.
Passes down before they got airborne against the New Orleans Saints.
Rafferty, who has always been the kicker, the snap man for the kicker in the last couple of years at least, after D.D. Lewis, now has moved into the offensive center position after Fitzgerald was hurt and then Shaw was hurt. And he's done a good job. Oh, White hits a bomb. Just barely into the end zone. He missed it by about 1 foot. Danny White really hit the football and almost put it out of bounds at the goal line.
Looked like he had radar hooked up to that one.
That pretty well tells you the story. It's 15-3 Dallas, as we've had points scored and every way there is to score in a football game. All by one team. Here's Phil Simms being chased and firing. Right now for an update on what's happening. They do now say that he intentionally grounded that last pass. And they've moved it back. So it'll be second down and 17 to go. Just off the fingertips of Billy Taylor. Out of the backfield, covered by Anthony Dickerson. That's a matchup you'd like to get, but Dickerson, number 51, can really run.
Boy, he did a good job of covering 1-for-1 that time, didn't he? He was right with him step for step. The ball had to be thrown perfectly. He still had a chance to make the catch had it been just a little lower, but you have to give him, Dickerson, a lot of credit. Number 51, a lot of credit for covering like he did on the play. There you see him in the insert. Good position by Dickerson, number 51.
So it'll be third down Giants now at the 13-yard line. Third and 17 they need for a first. The rush doesn't get there. The pass is picked off. Dennis Thurman down inside the 10 to the 5. The defense for Dallas comes to the rescue again.
That's the thing about Dallas. Boy, they get ahead of you, and they put a lot of pressure on your quarterback, and you have to throw to get back into the contest. They're going to make you make a mistake, and that's exactly what happened on the play. There's the rush. Randy White, Harvey Martin, not penetrating very well, but Thurman, 32, makes the interception and brings it down into scoring territory again for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas led the NFL in interceptions going into this game, and they've added 2 more today.
Yeah, they came in with 10. Now they have 12, and be interesting to know how many they got rid of, how many of those interceptions they got rid of in the fourth quarter. I think quite a few.
Well, that would be for basically the reason you just talked about. They get ahead of you, and then they put you in a position where you have to throw, and they come at you with a lot of different defensive looks. Right now, the offense is on the scene. 6:17 left to play. Dorsett, the ball carrier, steps away from one tackler. That was Courier. And steps down to about the 2. Brian Kelly stopped him. Dorsett almost went in.
That's a kind of a change of pace sweep, and I call it change of pace because the fullback is hitting insides. Springs, number 20, does a good job of blocking Carson. Carson does a good job of coming off the block, however, and getting a piece of the tackle. Dorsett does a good job of running the ball down to about the 2-yard line.
Dorsett up to 72 yards now. Best ever, by the way, out of the blocks. Dorsett has had 3 in a row for 100. Jim Brown, who else, had 6 in a row 1 year. Dorsett. Tony. Lost a couple.
Boy, Carson, number 53, and Kelly, 55, really got out there in great shape. Talking about the pursuit of the inside linebackers, those 2 guys really do a good job.
Again, they strung it out. Dorsett weaves his way back to the huddle. He's got to be tired. 22 carries now for him as Dallas takes out the tight ends and puts in the wide receivers. They're wealthy in that spot. Tony Hill goes to the left.
And look at Dorsett. We get a good picture of him. He's, no question, he's weary. He's winded.
White goes incomplete. In the direction of Drew Pearson, the heat was on as Brad Van Pelt put the big rush.
There you see the pressure. 75 Martin. But the ball was almost intercepted. And the strong safety that time was a little concerned that he didn't make the play.
Beasley Reese. There's Raphael Septien. Danny White, I'm sure, disappointed that the team didn't get in. But Charlie Waters will hold for Raphael Septien. This just about an extra point.
You know, the Cowboys are a little concerned about the fact that they haven't done a good job of scoring from within the 20-yard line. That's why Septien has kicked so many field goals.
He's got 1 more added to that list. No flag. Dallas now moves out with 4.5 minutes left to play to an 18-3 lead over the Giants. Pat Summerall with Hank Stram at Texas Stadium, where Dallas leads the Giants 18-3 now. 3 field goals by Raphael Septien, a safety, and a touchdown by Butch Johnson. Leon Bright, the ball carrier for the Giants. Giants down in good shape, led by Howard Richards, their top draft choice of last year.
By number 70, Howard Richards.
They think, incidentally, he is a great prospect as well. First down, Giants at their own 24. Crowd starting to move out a little bit right now. 4:22 left to play, with Dallas leading 18-3.
You know, Timmy Newsome hasn't played here this afternoon. I talked to Gil Brandt on the field before the game, and he's very, very excited about this young player. He thinks he's going to be terrific.
Been banged up a bit. Here's Phil Simms being chased and hit. And finally, the pass is complete. The receiver, Tom Mulledy, hit down hard by Guy Brown.
There's still a lot of time left with 4:03 or 4:01 left in this game. He's going to have to run a couple of traps or draws or screens or something to slow down that rush pad. He's not going to be able to just go back in that pocket and throw consistently, and especially throw consistently well with the kind of pressure he's going to get from that defensive line.
Second down, Simms standing close to the line of scrimmage and throwing, picked off by Everson Walls. That's that rookie's 4th interception already this year. He has that knack of being in the right place at the right time.
And watch the way he catches it. He acts like, you know, look what I found. Look at the great catch he makes here. Finally gets it as it's crawling down his leg on the left side, but he finally maintained possession. Really did a great job. What a fine athlete.
And what a nose for the ball he has. Walls from Grambling led the nation last year in interceptions with 11.
It's amazing what Gil Brandt and the Cowboys do for the scouting standpoint. They really come up with them, don't they?
They come up with the athletes, and then they find places for them.
They'll probably run left here from this formation.
Donovan and Scott out in front of Doris. No, James Jones. This is Harry Carson, hit him.
Number 43, James Jones. Arrested 48-yard line. Carson came for the tackle 48, 6 yards.
We want to welcome those stations that have just joined us. You're watching the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys. The score here is Dallas 18, the Giants 3. Texas Stadium was full at one time on this hot afternoon in Texas. Now many of them have gone. 60 minutes will immediately follow this game, except in the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regularly scheduled time.
That's Dallas' first timeout.
Dallas has taken a timeout here. Pat Summerall with Hank Stram, where the score is Dallas 18, the Giants 3. Only one touchdown has been scored in the game so far, a pass from White to Johnson. All following football here on CBS. 2:49 left at Texas Stadium, with Dallas leading the Giants 18-3. The lone setback is James Jones. And Jones whirls down to about the 27-yard line, where it'll be third down. These are all final scores. Cleveland beat Atlanta, give them their first defeat, 28-17. Philadelphia continues to roll, 36-13 over Washington. Wilbert Montgomery did not play at all. Cincinnati in overtime beat Buffalo 27-24. The New York Jets got their first victory, 33-17 over Houston. Pittsburgh 27-21 in overtime over New England. White. Robert Newhouse, the fullback. Jones, the other back. There's the house. Oh, how many great games has he had at this stadium? Harry Carson made the tackle. 2-minute warning will be indicated. Rafferty, the Dallas center at the moment, is shaken up a bit. 18-3, Cowboys lead. Rafferty, who's had a long day, plus the mental taxing of switching from guard to center for the second week in a row, takes a rest. Detroit shut out Oakland 16-0. And the Lions move to 2-2. Minnesota 30, Green Bay 13. The Packers will be in Giant Stadium next week against the Giants, and you'll see Lofton and Jefferson together on the same team. That ought to be awesome. Baltimore fell to Miami 31-28 as Don Shula's Dolphins continue unbeaten. They're 4-0. Those numbers are decreasing rapidly, those undefeated numbers. San Francisco 21-7 over New Orleans. Tampa Bay, a final score, beat St. Louis 20-10, and the Buccaneers are now 2-2. Another effort from Septien with Waters holding. The snapper now is D.D. Lewis, who did it so well for so many years. Waters going to the outside. The snap was high. Waters never put it down. The Giants will take over. Terry Jackson chases Charlie Waters out of bounds.
Gave him a shot at the elevator ball going up when he caught it, and he had to jump out of his stance trying to hold the ball down for Septien. Decided they had it looked like they had a little meeting there what to do with it. Waters finally takes off and runs to the outside, changes the ball, finally tackled there by Jackson, number 24, knocked out of bounds, and the New York Giants take over.
I thought he might give it back to Septien and let him try a drop kick.
Yeah, here, I don't want it, you take it.
Dallas has 2 timeouts left. The Giants have 3. Running backs, Billy Taylor, Leon Perry, as they have been most of the day. Perry was shaken up a bit, had to come out. Here's Phil Simms. Has had 3 picked off. Gets this one to Ernest Gray, who gets near midfield. Giant first down.
They have to be pleased with the progress of Gray. He's done some good catching in the last 2 games we've seen him play, and he made a nice catch there in traffic.
Ray Perkins had nothing but good things to say about Ernest Gray. He mentioned the drop passes, but talked about it. What a fine young man.
And that's going to happen with young receivers. You have to be patient enough to make sure that you just stay with them if they have the ability and skill, and they're going to catch them.
Here's Simms. Intended and complete to Johnny Perkins. Perkins goes out of bounds at the Dallas 20, but a penalty marker is down. Steve Wilson popped him out. Of course, Jerry Tubbs in a baseball cap, who was a middle linebacker here for so many years. They've only had 3 play that position. Tubbs first, and of course came Leroy Jordan, and after him Bob Brunick. And that's a pretty good trio.
Yes, it really is. And of course all of them did such a super job of playing that middle position. And you can't play the 4-3 unless you have an outstanding middle linebacker.
Can't believe that score. 42-24, Denver over San Diego. Incredible. 21-14, 49ers over New Orleans. Simms swings it outside. Billy Taylor. Somebody threw a helmet or had it taken away. Roy Simmons. Tony Dorsett over on the sideline had a busy but not one of his most productive afternoons. Dorsett was probably through 22 carries, 70 yards. Brad Van Pelt.
We talked to Brad before the game, and he really felt good defensively about what their scheme was, and they felt they could do a good job of containing the Cowboys. And really, overall, they have done a good job. The offense really didn't generate any kind of a sustained drive to get points on the board.
There's Phil Simms with plenty of time. Wide open is Perkins. Touchdown Giants as Simms hit him perfectly. Michael Downs was the nearest Cowboy. Good throw and a good pattern. Giants move closer. 56 seconds left on the scoreboard. It's Dallas 18, the Giants 9.
Perkins that time was in a slot formation, ran a down and out pattern. The ball was right on the money. And we'll see the Giants again next week. We saw them last week. We'll see them again next week against the Green Bay Packers. And I really think they're a much improved football team, and they're getting better all the time.
Very young, as Perkins has only 16 players left on the roster from when he took over. So there's a lot of youth and a lot of enthusiasm as Joe Danilo with Scott Brunner holding makes it 18-10. Johnny Perkins, Abilene Christian graduate, as is our companion and spotter Lance Barrow. 18-10. Mac of the counting players. You got enough out there? You figure onside kick, Hank. I've always sort of wondered if, particularly, look at next week first. Chicago, Minnesota. That'll be an interesting battle, depending on what happens tomorrow night with the Bears, Los Angeles. Still be an interesting battle. Dallas up at St. Louis, Green Bay, New York, San Francisco, Washington, Detroit at Tampa Bay. Instead of bouncing an onside kick and trying just to get it 10 yards, particularly with a soccer-style kicker who have those individuals seem to have so much more control of the football, why not just loft it over the front nine? Have a gang scramble for it.
Yeah, that or either that or try to get the ball to ricochet off of one of the people on the front line there and then try to get it that way. But, you know, it's an interesting statistic, Pat, that the kicking team who tries an onside kick will recover the ball 40% of the time. That's interesting, isn't it?
I had no idea it was that high.
Yeah, it is, 40% of the time.
Well, you're going to see one coming right here, I'm sure. It's got to go 10 yards, remember. It went to 10 yards, and Ron Springs, with that jumping ability, jumped up and got it, and it's a good thing he had it. Did he do that left-footed or right-footed?
I think he did it left-footed.
Following football again. Here is the lineup this evening. The all-new 60 Minutes. Archie Bunker's Place, One Day at a Time, Alice, the Jeffersons, and Trapper John, M.D. Dallas 18, Cowboys 10. A final score, and a shocking one at that. Denver 42, San Diego 24. And one more name drops off that undefeated list. Now there should be only 3. Pitch back to Jones, heading left. Van Pelt meets him after a block. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York. For the Cowboys seem destined to remain on that undefeated list. Miami would be 3-0. Dallas and Philadelphia both 3-0. And that would be it after San Diego and Atlanta both lost today. 4-0, I'm sorry. Thank you, Hank.
Tom looks good in that little costume he's got there. His hat and sport coat, doesn't he? We watched him after practice the other day, and he was pumping those weights very diligently, and he looks like he's in good shape.
He's very dapper. Year after year, Hank, he joins you on that best dressed in football list.
Yes, my mother makes that list out for us.
Here's Jones. Harry Carson, the tackler for the Giants, as the Cowboys continue to try to run it out. Our score here is 18-10 Dallas over the Giants. I'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching San Francisco and New Orleans. We're at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with Coach Hank Stram, where the Cowboys lead the Giants 18-10 in a game that's seen only one touchdown by each team. 41 seconds left to play in this game. It's been a very hot, humid afternoon in Texas. Tony Dorsett has not gained his customary 100 yards. He carried 22 times, picked up 70.
You know, last week both teams were very efficient on 1st and 10 as far as 4 yards or more. in today's game, why they're both about 40%, which is a lot lower than what they normally have done in the past.
Cooper now has moved into play center, and Frederick is the right tackle, number 71. Rafferty got a finger in the eye and probably will not return. I would doubt it seriously now.
They like to run to this side from this formation. They've been doing it all afternoon. See if they do it again. Nope.
Doug Donnelly, the Cowboys' second draft choice of this year. And right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York to find out what's happening around the league. Struggle here, Brent. And 18-10 the score. With 32 seconds now remaining. New York, no more timeouts. Dallas has 2 left. Last time the Giants won here was 1974. They beat Dallas last year up in Giant Stadium 38-35 in a game that ultimately made the Eagles the Eastern champions. Dallas have to play that extra game and lose that home field advantage. And many of them felt that that's the game that cost them another trip to the Super Bowl. Danny White is still the quarterback. Newhouse and James Jones the runners. 4th down, they'll go. Now in motion. Newhouse gets the carry, and he is close. Brad Van Pelt, and I'm just not sure if he made it or not. The executive producer of the NFL football on CBS is Terry O'Neill. The senior producer, Charles Milton III, Red Eye himself. Produced by Bob Stenner and Tony Verna. Those are those on the scene and the rest. And they sure make our job a lot easier, don't they, Hank?
Well, they had some great shots here this afternoon and helped us tremendously with this telecast.
1st and 10 Giants. Newhouse didn't make it. 18-10 the Cowboys lead. 27 seconds left to play. The Giants do not have any more timeouts, so it's either get it out of bounds, make sure it's incomplete, or anything to stop that clock. Sims looking, finding a fumbling Leon Perry who got it back. Clock still runs, however. And here we go with Randy White and Ernie Hughes in a bit of a disagreement.
It's like throwing marshmallows at a brick wall when they got all that equipment on it to pass.
The only thing you can hurt is your hand.
That's right. And of course you can't hurt that very much anymore with all the gloves and all the paraphernalia people wearing on their hands.
There's Randy White. Hands on knees. Don't forget the all-new 60 minutes following football. This has been a long game. Hogaboom and White, 2 of the Dallas Cowboy quarterbacks.
These 2 quarterbacks didn't show a lot of enthusiasm about getting into the fight, did they?
Well, if it's true that the only thing that you can hurt is your hands, that's the one thing they don't want to hurt.
That's right.
Disqualified. Now we got to run 6 seconds.
People have been ejected. Ernie Hughes is number 61.
Team is disqualified. Personal foul, 61 on the blue team is disqualified.
Does that clarify things? Randy White has been disqualified. He did not wish to leave. Ernie Hughes was the Giant who was thrown out. There's Hughes. But there won't be any meeting under the stands after the game, I don't think.
6 seconds were lost on the clock. Would the operator please reset the clock to 8 seconds?
Yeah, I think they're going to let Boom Boom Man City and Alexis Aguila do the fighting.
We'll look forward to that as well. They're going to reset the clock, so there are 8 seconds remaining. And the Giants should be able then to get away at least one more play. Taylor lines up as a flanker on the left. Sims goes back deep in the shotgun formation. penalty marker down. Wide open is Mike Freedy. He spins out of a couple of tackles. Gets down to the 32-yard line. There is a penalty marker down. If it's against the Giants, the game will be over. And indeed it is. Now this is Pat Summerall for Hank Stram saying so long from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, and reminding you once again the final score was Dallas 18, the Giants 10. Be sure to be with us next weekend for CBS Sports Saturday. We bring you the WBC Lightweight Championships. Arguello defends his title against unbeaten Ray Boom Boom Mancini. You have been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.